Thanks for joining me on D's analysis. We're going to be looking at SMCI. We haven't really done much the past 2 weeks. Kind of just been sideways, low volume. So we're kind of just waiting for a move to kick up. But we've been holding this support, this horizontal level support. We broke underneath this trend line, but we're still pinched in between this. We're still pinched between this horizontal level of support and this downward sloping trend line. It seemed like we had a bull pennant going, but then we broke underneath it, and it looks like it somewhat got invalidated, but it could still play out if we break out, retest, and move on up higher. So the two things I could see happening are a breakout, retest, and we push to this level here, this upward running trend line. And then the other scenario I can see playing out is cracking this trend line and this horizontal level support, retesting, and pushing down lower. But overall, it's still looking good. We made a solid recovery from a 86% drop, and we pushed up 136% from there. And at one point before this rejection, pushed up 280%. Now, every chart that I make doesn't mean that I'm purchasing a specific stock. So sometimes I just do breakdowns on stocks, even though I'm not participating in them. That's just a heads up. SMCI is one of those, but I do think it's an interesting stock to follow, and the way it moves is very volatile, and I think it's exciting to look at. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here. But I think we are looking pretty good though. After that drop, getting a push back up. On the SMAs, we're looking pretty good. We're above the 20 and the 50, which is a strong level of support and resistance to help price continue up in a bull trend or in a bear trend. But looks like we're trying to get a bullish move up. On the weekly, we are holding the 20 as of now, but we're still underneath the 50. So we have to crack that 50 and help us push up higher to this upward sloping trend line. In terms of the Bollinger Band, we got to bounce off the blue, but we still haven't made any significant progress because there's low volume. So once volume kick up, maybe we can get a push up to the red band on the weekly. On the daily, we're kind of in the same boat. We're holding the blue, but since there's no volume, we haven't made a decision to the downside or to the upside yet. On the RSI, we're in the middle of the road, not oversold, not overbought. We're exactly neutral, but we are creating higher highs and higher lows, and we're holding the moving average as of now. So let's see if price can, or strength can start pushing up on the RSI and give price a little bit of momentum to push and break through the next level of resistance. On the weekly, we have the exact same thing, but we did hit oversold levels on November 11th, and we've been making higher highs and higher lows ever since, creating a nice uptrend, showing that strength is starting to continue and build up. So let's see if we can break above this midline and push to the top of the range. On the daily, it looked pretty bearish. We had a lot of momentum, but the bearish momentum is kind of dying out, and the candles are starting to dwindle down. So it looks like volume could start to turn around and start turning green. And this blue looks like it's starting to find its bottom and trying to make its way up and reclaim this orange and push up higher, bringing those green candles along with it. So the MACD is essentially RSI, so it shows the strength of price along with the volume behind that strength. So those two combined, volume with your strength, gives it strong moves to either side, up or down. So the weekly is looking very bullish. We're creating higher highs, higher lows with an increase in volume. We did find somewhat of a little peak, and now we've been dwindling down, but let's see if we can start pushing up higher instead of dropping in volume. So we don't want that drop. We want this to start ramping back up. On the Fibonacci, we did have a major bounce off of this golden zone, pretty close to it, and the long-term trend line up here. So that was a strong level of resistance and got a shoot back down on price. So we definitely are looking in a bearish direction at the moment, but when you zoom out a little bit more, this is extremely bullish. Short-term bearish, I mean, it's not even that short-term, but I guess mid-term, because it started in March 2024. So it's been a year now. So it's not really that short-term, but it's not long-term either. So we'll just say mid-term. But longer-term, probably a more bullish move. which we're going to look at here on the fib. So we'll pull from the start of the move. We'll pull from the start of the move to the top here. And now we got to bounce off the 886, the 786, and now it looks like we're running into the golden zone. And let's see if we can get a break above this, because right now it's acting as resistance, the golden zone. So we pushed inside, we pushed back out. So now let's see if we can make our way back in, break above, and get a bounce off of the golden zone and continue up higher. And once we get that momentum behind SMCI, this thing can really get moving quick. But I think overall it's still looking bullish at the moment. We had a scare off, a huge sell off, but it looks like we're trying to make our move back up to the upside. But we do need to break this downward sloping trend line. That's all I have for you guys. I'll see you in the next one.